First, we need to find out who hajduks were. The word hajduk appears in many European languages. Today, there are several football clubs with the name hajduk. Real hajduks had nothing to do with football. A hajduk was a member of irregular infantry in some parts of Europe. Hajduks were active from the early 17th to the mid-19th century. They were described as bandits and freedom fighters. They might have been both. I will focus on Serb hajduks. There are similarities with Robin Hood myth. Serb epic poems celebrate hajduks like Old Novak and Child Radojica. Novak is too old and Radojica is too young, but they still fight against the Turks. Hajduks live in the woods and attack only Turks. In 17th and 18th century, majority of Serbs living under Turkish rule were poor. Hajduks had nothing to gain by attacking Serbs. Hajduks participated in the First Serb uprising between 1804 and 1813. Most celebrated hajduks and historical figures were Hajduk Veljko and Stanoje Glavaš. Serbian writer Janko Veselinović wrote a book called Hajduk Stanko. The book is mandatory read in Serbian schools. Harambaša is the leader of hajduks. The name comes from Arab word haram, which means sin. Yatak was a person who helps hajduks hide from the authorities. The word yatak is still used in Serbian to describe helpers of criminals. Who was the last Serb hajduk? Jovan Stanislavić was born in 1897. He was born in a Serb family living in Slavonia, part of Austria-Hungary Empire. Jovan Stanislavić was nicknamed Jovo Čaruga. I heard two versions what Čaruga means. Some say it means troublemaker. Others say the word comes from Turkish word čarik, which is type of shoe. The word Čaruga is not used in modern Serbian language. The closest word is jaruga, which means raven. Čaruga lost his mother early. His father remarried and refused to pay for his son's school. Young Čaruga ran away to Osijek, where he went to a locksmith school. In 1914, World War I started. Čaruga joined Austria-Hungarian army. He killed one of his captains. Čaruga forged documents and posed as an officer. He later deserted the army. Čaruga killed the man who was courting his girlfriend. Čaruga then killed another man who threatened him. He was arrested and sent to Sremska Mitrovica prison. He managed to escape and went to the woods. He joined a gang called Kolo Gorskih Tića, English Band of Mountain Birds. Despite their tame name, they were known for robbing and killing people. Their harambaša was Božo Matijević, called Red Božo for his communist ideas. The gang consisted of army deserters, so Čaruga fit in. Čaruga used false names like Nikola Drezgić and Mile Barić. In 1918, World War I ended. New country was established under the name Kingdom of Serbs, Croats and Slovenes. Outlaws became a real problem. In 1920, martial law was declared in Slavonia because of hajduks. The police was given tasks to catch hajduks. Red Božo was killed by the police. Čaruga became harambaša. All newspapers wrote about Čaruga. He was becoming larger than life. In 1922, Charuga went to Zagreb, where he posed as a rich man. This shows how fearless he was. There were warrants for his arrest, and he attended parties in the city. Charuga later rejoined his gang. On 14th October 1923, the gang attacked rich estate in Ivankovo near Vinkovci. One of the workers on the estate managed to escape and called the police. The police caught Charuga and other hajduks. In February 1925, Charuga was sentenced to death. Tickets were sold for his hanging. Local actors came to see how death looks like in order to improve their acting. It is estimated that 3,000 people came to the hanging. Charuga maintained his reputation in his last moments. He showed no fear. His last words were, "I am Jovan Stanislavljević Charuga. I salute you, executioner. Goodbye, people. Charuga is going away. This isn't terrible. I am going merrily." Several books were written about Charuga. In 1991, the movie Charuga was made. This movie was described as the last Yugoslav movie before the country fell apart. The movie insists on communist ideas among hajduks. How popular Charuga is today? Not very popular. I was a teenager when I first heard of him. I read a book about biggest crimes in Yugoslavia. One chapter was dedicated to Charuga. Old Novak, Child Radojica, Hajduk Veljko are well known among Serbs, but Charuga was indeed the last Serb labeled as Hajduk.